J-Mutt here, Stretford, Paddock. Manchester United beating Derby County 2-1 in our first pre-season friendly this season. Joining me for the live review is Joe Smith.
Hello.
Hello, sir. And also Adam McCullough. Get involved in the comments. It is live, as you would expect. Let us know what you thought of the game, who you thought played well, who you thought didn't. On the thumbnail, Joe, I'll start with you.
Yes.
It says Facundo Palestri.
Yep.
Talking all about him. Got his goal, obviously.
Yep.
And also a great performance by him.
It was a really good performance by him. His touch looked really tight. Like, I don't know, just that sort of underfoot dribbling where he's kind of leaning over the ball the whole time.
Yep.
Doesn't, really difficult to tackle him. Great dummy and sort of fake to go around the goalkeeper. Proper sold the goalkeeper there, didn't he? Like, just completely did him from real close range as well. And nice finish. I thought pretty much every touch he had some quality to it. And you were saying before, weren't you, about sort of almost like reminding you of Ji-Sung Park, kind of the centre of gravity a little bit.
There was a point where I think it might have been for his goal. He looked when he ran through because he was there. He looked like Ji-Sung Park, but also that low centre of gravity.
His stature as well, his height, and his hair make him look like Park Ji.
But yeah, really good performance from him. Obviously, it's pre-season, it's against Derby, but it's it's not nothing, and we haven't had many other chances to see him play for Manchester United. So it's good to see him play, and I think he did better than we all thought he would.
Do you think that there is a part of an element of him giving Ollie something to think about in a game like this? Do you think there is anything like that? Because we'll get to Chong as well in a minute, but because Chong obviously got the other goal for Manchester United. Do you think these players who are young, on the very fringes of the squad, can influence Ollie's thinking with the pre-season performances?
I just heard Ollie in the post-match interview say, you can't lose the league in the first 6 games. No. But you can put yourself in a better position to win it.
Yeah.
Or something along those
You can't win it, but you can lose it.
That's what he said.
Or you can make it more.
Yeah. You can't.
And it's like, with these players, they probably can't force Ollie into making them start every game at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But they can, if they perform badly or they pick up bad habits or they do the wrong thing, they can make him think, is he what I thought he was? And so actually applying yourself correctly, doing everything that's asked of you, even things that we wouldn't clock because we're fans. So, we might think Palestri was amazing today and he played well and did good. But Ollie might have wanted him to do X and he did Y. So it's also about them applying the manager's tactics and doing what is asked of them too. And I think he's done that today. I thought he was very good, but I don't think that will change him going out on loan potentially or anything like that. I think Ollie will be delighted to see them come back to Heath Chong as well and show really well. Show really well. That doesn't even make sense. And show their talents, to him. But I don't think that will change anything in terms of their futures at the club.
There seems to be such a good atmosphere with Ollie and these players. We go back to Jose Mourinho when he took all the youngsters with him, and it's like Alexis Sanchez and all the youngsters, and he was fuming about it and would come out and say, we've got this lot and Sanchez. With Ollie, you can see the way he's interacting with them. You can see the fact we made something like 11 changes and everyone gets a chance. And, even players that you think might almost have no chance of appearing for the first team even in pre-season, they get a bit of a run out today. It seems to, it seems just like a happy camp.
It's like I know, I'm not saying that Jose doesn't do this, but it's like he really does sort of value everyone in the squad, or at least that's what comes across. So whether he thinks the same as Jose, that he thinks these are all shit or not, you don't get the feeling that he does. And that's a huge part of management. And like Jose, it was like all the youngsters and all the players that weren't his like starting 11. Like, when you're playing Pokemon cards in like at school, and you're like, I've got these in swaps. Jose used to play like what?
I was about to say, I was.
You know when your kids use Pokemon cards?
No, you just play Tiddlywinks.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we used to play with
marbles,
just rocks.
Marbles are in my.
Was it? But it's like you've got one card you got loads of times. I've got that in swaps. I don't like it. I don't need it. Jose used to treat the reserves like they were swaps. Like they're all just the same. They're just one card and they're shit. And I don't care what happens to them. I don't care if they're any good. I don't care if they play whatever. Whereas with Ole, he might think that, but everyone, it seems, from fans all the way up to the players, the way they speak about him, feels as though they're appreciated and that he appreciates every player. And that is massive. And like having a big squad that none of them seem like they're fuming, that they hate being there, they hate the manager, they fall out with everyone. That's such a great quality to have in a team. And I think the fact that he's done that is excellent. But yeah, it's a pre-season friendly against Derby, innit? Like, you can't read too much into it. But I think it was good today.
Bryce, go on. Bryce says that Lingard missed goal was worth extra 10 mil. I do want to talk about Lingard today. We'll finish talking about Facundo Pellistri and where we think.
Do you know what? All I was going to say there as well is it's good for these young players because for some of you don't realise how rare it is to play for United at times. We had Bojan on the channel, Bills and Jodic, not long ago. The guy literally played 2 games for United. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like you can take it for granted, and he was a Jimmy Murphy Player of the Year. It was like everyone thought he was going to have. So to actually get a game for United is, for these youngsters, is a massive thing. And I think they all did themselves proud today. Even the ones that made a small cameo. It was
that Darren Fletcher?
I think we've got some highlights going on here, yeah. And then it looks like Darren Fletcher's just walked past with his kids. What are people saying in the comments, Macca?
Fergie's son says it's here for Adam. Oh, sorry.
You've got the volume up there.
I can hear you here.
How do I turn that again if you want?
Should we talk about Jesse Lingard then?
Yeah, what I liked about Jesse Lingard is, you're always going to get a good performance from Jesse Lingard, always going to put an effort in, but he really went for it today. And it could have been easy for him to think, just watching the highlights of him hitting the bar. He could, he's an England international. He's a player with all that experience. He's won trophies. There's talk of him moving on. He doesn't have to bust a gut today, but he did. He did, do you know what I mean? And he was the standout player for me in the second half when he came on. Yeah,
me too. And even for the Pellistri goal, it was his little quick feet, sort of half shimmy one way, passed it round to Shoretire, who then laid it into Pellistri. But he started that move. He was the one who put a bit of composure on the ball, just opened his foot up and gave that pass that wasn't a difficult pass, but there was a man straight in front of him and he just navigated the ball around him. Like you said, just a bit of maturity and composure to do the right thing with a bit of pressure on you. And like you said, he isn't. What is he trying to prove? I don't know. Do you think he wants to stay? Do you think he's fighting for his?
He wants to stay.
His first
but he
team
also
place?
Wants to be someone's first choice.
Yeah,
and I don't think both of those things happen.
Yeah. At United.
Yeah, so it's like I think it's best for him, and it's best for United if he leaves. Remember that stage you got to Nicky Butt where it's like keeping you helps our squad a lot, but. It's not helping you.
And you care, don't you? Because you like Jesse, you know what I mean? I think we all got a soft spot for him. You want him to have a decent career. You don't like, just stuff, keep him, we might need him. You want him to go where he's going to get some games. And obviously he's still got a lot to offer. He was, 9 goals and 4 assists since February in the Premier League. You can't ignore that. And there's many clubs that he'd walk, a lot of Premier League teams. And rightly so. Going back to the first goal, to Heath Chong, another player who it seems like we've sort of got a narrative here, might have had something to prove.
He's going to Birmingham City.
He's going to Birmingham City. When he has played for the first team for Manchester United, I don't really think he's done himself justice. He was like arguably the most raved about youngster a few years ago when everyone was like, I know Greenwood's a different class, but everyone was like, Heath Chong's going to be the one. He's the one to watch. He's he's linked with Barcelona, I think, at one point, was it? Or not Barcelona, sorry. He was linked with someone. I can't remember who it was. But linked with move. Went away.
I think it was Barca, wasn't it?
Barca. So I can't remember. He was linked with someone. Went to Werder Bremen. Didn't quite work out. Went to, was it Bruges? Now he's got a Birmingham, as you said, Macca. What did you make of his game, first half performance for Manchester United today?
I've seen, obviously, only highlights. I've not watched any live games of him in Germany, but I've been watching a few of his clips in Germany, and he looks like a player that is full of confidence, and also he's becoming more mature in like knowing his own body and knowing certain things. He's got a slight frame, and that was one of the things that you always worry about when he comes from the reserves to the first team, is how is he going to deal with that physicality, and I think he gets away with it a little bit in Germany. But today I thought he played well. I thought he took his goal well, although a little bit of luck involved with it coming back off him. Did it hit his hand? Didn't it? I don't think it did. But I like him, but I do still feel like, see when Mason Greenwood plays, and even Amad Diallo to a certain extent, I feel like they're ready or they're very close. I don't get that impression with Heath Chong, with Elanga, with any of those guys. Even with Hannibal Mejbri, I tend to go towards
another year.
But I feel he's even more ready. Like if he was to play, he'd probably make a bigger impact. But I might be wrong. But yeah, I think we got to give time to these lads.
Yeah, 100%. We've got to give time. We can't be expecting them all to be sort of ready for the first team, even at the age of 19, 20.
Yeah, with just back to Pellistri quickly. I think up until now, what I'd seen from him was kind of not underwhelming, but none of it made me sort of stand up and go, we've got a player here.
Yeah.
And today was the first time where you think, there's something about this lad. There's something going on here. I kind of get it. I think probably 1 year away again, and then we'll see. But I think, do you know when the player's on loan and you're seeing sort of constant sort of clips on the Twitter feed of like, look what he's done for his loan team. Look what he's done. We saw a lot with Garner last season.
Yeah.
I think he's the right loan move away if you go to the right club from it being like, look at this clip. Look, he skinned this guy. Look at this finish. Look at this through ball. Pellistri impressed me a lot today because he showed for the first time that he's got something, proper that he can offer, whereas before he seemed a bit lightweight.
Thanks to the shouts in the chat that referred me to Laurie Whitwell's tweets. We've got some quotes from Ollie.
Very nice.
He says, just paperwork left on the 85 million euro deal for Jadon Sancho.
Lovely.
Nice.
He said just the paperwork bit, not the price.
Okay.
Solskjaer and Lingard. Jesse has come back, been bright. He wants to fight for his place. What he did towards the end of last season, that's the true Jesse. We maybe lacked some options at times. Jesse is in the plans at the moment.
He said that last year, though, about Sanchez, didn't he?
He does say that, doesn't he, about players that are on our books.
Yeah. Solskjaer on Rashford operation. We are looking at the best options. He's gone away to reflect on it a little bit. We have to take the best course of action for him and the club. We are still addressing that with the experts. Now, we had heard a week or so ago that he was getting the operation. So now it feels like he's gone to decide whether he wants the operation.
I know, that worries me a little bit.
It worries
he
me
needs to just get it, doesn't he?
If that's the case where it's like what he's referring to there is he getting it yes or no? Here's the two options. There's a chance that it's like there's multiple different operations, there's multiple different surgeons. We're deciding should we do it now? Should we wait? Should we do steroids? Should we do stem cells? Should we do this? And maybe it's not. Yeah, injecting.
Is that not legal? Illegal?
No. I think maybe if he's just saying should we get him a surgery or should we make him play injured, we're not sure, then that worries me. But if there's a handful of options on A, or he gets the surgery B, maybe it's a bit more nuanced. Hopefully it is, because otherwise it's like we might just make him play injured, which I don't like.
No, I don't, and we all know that Marcus Rashford will always play for Manchester United. No matter what situation or how physically he is, he's always willing to run through brick walls for us. But he needs an operation. He needs to get fully fit. And we should be looking out for him. He's still a young player who, we keep forcing him on, or playing him, not forcing him on when he's not fully fit. And it's going to end up having a long-term damage to his career. And I think that if we get a fully fit Marcus Rashford back, even if he misses the first 2 months of the season, with the options we've got, we can handle that. If we get him back and he's fully fit, then he can be a completely different story. For us, that could be the catalyst you need, or the push you need.
I just
towards the second sort of
what would annoy me as well, though?
Go on.
Especially when you United have to be clever here and think of the boy's career. And I think when you look at the summer he's had, he went away with England. Let's be real, you can argue for the teams and all that you want. But if Marcus Rashford's fully fit, he plays more than he did.
Of course he does.
He plays more than Saka.
Yeah.
So are we going to have that Marcus Rashford all of next season if he doesn't have enough?
Yeah.
Are we going to start the season with Marcus Rashford, he gets injured a month down the line, or he feels it worse, then he has to get it. So now we've delayed our issue, not just by a month, but by maybe 6 weeks, because some of this time is downtime, do you know what I mean, where we could be using to get him fit. And I just think, if you look even further beyond that, this season is closely followed by another World Cup next year in Qatar. So let's say we got through this season. If he needed it to have it next season, he'd probably think, if I have it now, Gareth's not going to pick me for the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So then he's going to start thinking about the World Cup. So then his issues going to get worse.
Will he even be in the squad? If he has a shit season this year because he's injured all year and he's at 60%, 50% capacity, he's not a guarantee to start for England, and never has been, to be honest. And if he might not even get into that team.
If we could start the season with Greenwood, Cavani, your two strikers, Marshall and James are your options on the left, and Jadon Sancho and Ahmad are your options on the right. Bro, Rashford, just go and have your operation. I don't want some half-fit Rashford that's frustrating the hell out of everyone like last year.
There's so many reasons, like you say, frustrating hell out of it. You want him to look after himself. You want him to be fully fit. You don't want him to have damage to his career. There's so many reasons that we've got options. We're not desperate. Yes, Marcus Rashford, when he's fully fit, walks into the Manchester United team, but we've got options. Go on.
We got another. It's all going off here today.
Go on, my son.
Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted. Jadon Sancho. Oh, another one. It's basically an update. That isn't an update. I'm sick of these updates.
Is it almost there or something?
Jadon Sancho will be announced soon.
Not really. Thanks for that.
Is that it?
Has Fabrizio just quoted Samuel Fuckface?
No, if he has, you're not reading it out.
He's finished. He's tier 3 now. Fabrizio's
Yeah.
dropped, lads and lasses.
How much do you reckon he's got paid for that? I reckon Samuel gave him backhand and said, "Yeah, do me a favour, quote tweet this."
Lucas don't get paid for what he does.
There's
no way he gets paid for
That's
what
a
he
good point. Have you got any? We'll round up with a couple of chats. Go on. Have you got anything? Anyone got anything
The
to say?
batch is going on this.
Right.
I can't even see.
Well, that's disconcerting.
Agreed that Pellistri needs an English loan. So there's
Why
a few
not?
people
Maybe.
discussing in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
If that will get him more equipped for the Premier League, yeah.
Yeah, I could go
If
to
that's the
somewhere.
case.
Couldn't he go to a Norwich
Championship
or somewhere?
team?
Yeah.
Norwich are in the Premier League.
No, he just said Premier League,
Oh, sorry.
and then I went, yeah. Then you went Championship team.
Who said Premier League? Get him, if it will get him ready for the Premier League, the
but I
style
think
of
he
play.
could go into the Premier League.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Sorry, Norwich fans.
no, but I'm
spoiler alert, you get relegated this season.
No, I mean,
I think. Sorry, you think he could go into Championship?
Yeah.
I think he'd go into the Premier League.
Okay.
I think somewhere like a Norwich or someone who's just been promoted could do a job for them. Not necessarily starting every game, but we can see what he's about.
Apparently, Gary has said he wants to stay. He doesn't want to go on loan.
Really? Well, he's saying the right things, though, isn't he?
I was going to say, you sure you want to stay? But are you sure, though?
Are you desperate to
'Cause
stay?
if
Or
I
would
tell
you
you,
sort of not
if
mind
I tell
it?
you what I know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'd want to stay.
Yeah. Right. Anything else?
This is the year. 21's coming. This is
Okay.
the year of Marshall again. I'm telling you, like, stop sleeping on the boy.
I wonder when he's going to stop sleeping because he hadn't
Wow.
even played this summer and he's still not ready. Where was he today?
I think he's not in training. I'm just assuming he's still. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Is he still injured?
No, he's not injured. I assume, this is the assumption I'm making, because he was injured towards the back end of the season.
Right.
I assume in his recovery from injury, he probably had to report to Carrington for a week or so after everyone had gone on holiday.
Right. Okay.
And therefore, he's still... Do you get what I'm saying?
That he's got an
So
extra
if he
week
had
off.
to go in and get recuperation on his injuries for a week after the Europa final, then he's probably still got a week left on holiday. Is how I... But yeah, I was thinking that. Why isn't he in training?
Well,
Van der Beek.
you tell me
a
what's
lot of people
going
talk
on
about
there.
youngsters and everyone talks about youngsters.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to say players' names and you're going to say loan,
All right,
squad.
I like this game.
Squad or loan.
Yeah, go on then.
Or sell.
Yeah.
If you really want.
Yeah.
Right. Facundo Pellistri.
Loan.
Loan.
Terad Mengi.
Loan.
Tahith Chong.
Loan.
Loan.
Axel Tuanzebe.
I think loan again. I think we're at the loan point with him again where he's not played for a year basically. He played, what was it, like 6 games last season?
Especially if we buy a centre back.
He needs minutes. Get him out on loan.
Ethan Laird.
I'm tempted with. Yeah, only because of game time. Yeah. If we get Varane, definitely. If not, keep him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ethan Laird.
Loan.
Loan.
Andres Pereira.
Sell.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Jesse Lingard. I know we're moving away from youngsters
Sell.
now.
So.
Anyone obvious? Donny?
Donny.
Keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force the issue, man. Give him a chance and force that issue, Donny. Come on. Show us what you're about.
Brandon Williams?
Loan.
Loan.
Premier League loan. Talk of Southampton in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that.
that.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Watch this one, guys. Dean Anderson?
Sell.
Right,
Get
that's
rid
it.
of him.
You better
Get
wrap
him
this
out of
video
here.
up.
He's
Wrap this
rubbish.
video up.
This is Tom
You're
Heaton's
taking the
club
piss,
now,
mate.
mate.
You know what
taking
people
the
need to
piss.
realise, yeah?
Joking.
You know now that I know that these that could be wound up by that, I will now push it.
Wound
Yeah.
up.
And
Yes, that's
and
what
he's allowed to
winds me
say
up.
whatever he
You
wants
saying
without
Tom
being
Heaton.
held accountable at any
all right,
time.
let's do one for you.
That's
It's
basically
simply
what
for
I
the
was-
sake
Let's
of
do one
winding
for
us
you.
up. Well,
Let me
well
do one
done.
for you then. Lee Grant.
Number 1.
Anthony Martial.
Yeah.
Sell.
Oh.
Loan! Imagine. He's gone a loan to Blackburn.
Barcelona.
Martial owner. Right, come
Right,
on,
Barcelona
Jay.
okay.
can't afford Marshall. Are you mad, bro?
Yeah, they can't
Dean
afford anyone.
Henderson,
Thanks for everyone who got involved in the chat. Thanks for the comments. What videos have we got coming up on the channel? We've got a debate. We had the debate about the goalkeepers. Thanks for that, mate. Cheers. Yeah.
Ask him, not me.
We've got news in the morning.
Saturday, we've got
We'll have the Paddock
myself,
podcast
I'll
as
be
well.
outside Old Trafford at Paddock podcast. So make sure you're checking that out. Hit like, share, and subscribe and hit the notifications bell on the subscribe button. So you will get a notification every time we give you an update and go live, which we will be doing when things are announced.
And for every pre-season game as well, we'll be doing watch-alongs all the way through the season, of course.
Of course. That's been Adam McCauley, you know where to find him. That's been Joe Smith, you know where to find him as well. I've been Jay Moy. This has been the live review. Manchester United beating Derby County 2-1. First pre-season game done and won. Thanks for watching.